And this morning, joining us in the studio is a man who has been racing big Australian cars around tracks for many years now. He's won plenty of events, including the Bathurst 1000, Australia's biggest car race.
5 times, Alex. 5 times.
Good morning, Mr. Craig Lowndes.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very well, guys.
That's good. Thanks for being on the show. Now, I'm going to admit right at the top here and say that I have very little knowledge, not a lot of interest in racing cars. Sometimes I watch Top Gear. I didn't mind. What was that super racer movie? That was pretty good. What is the attraction for you? Why do you race cars?
Well, I suppose I grew up in Melbourne racing go-karts at an early age, and I suppose most of us have done go-karts at some stage in your career, and really it was an interest, I suppose a bug or something that I've always done right through my whole life. And growing up, as you get older, you get sort of into different categories, and as you get through Formula Ford and then into Formula Holden, which what it was known then back then, to basically you either do a Mark Webber and you get out of Australia and you go overseas and try and chance your luck of trying to get to Formula One, or if you stay here, you become a V8 supercar driver. And although Marcus Ambrose has also done a successful change or a switch from ourselves here in Australia to NASCAR in America, so it's possible, but it's a lot of work to get out of what we do here in Australia.
Well, you've turned author as well, Craig, and have a new book out, in The Inside Line, by Craig Lowndes, and it says in there, you got a few quotes from people that saying that you, as a talented driver yourself, could have made the switch had you wanted to. Is that something you might have done, or that is still on the cards?
Oh, look, I'd love to still compete and complete a lot of events before I get out of the driver's seat. I'm 36 now, which is actually sort of getting up to the other end of the scale of motor racing drivers' age. I'd like to do Le Mans 24 Hour in France and a few other places, and really it's for me, I had my opportunity back in 1997 to go to Europe. We based ourselves in Graz in Austria. We drove a category like it was called Formula 3000. It's a category below Formula One, and really, I suppose that was my opportunity to get over there and try and make it into Formula One if I could. My teammate at the time was Juan Pablo Montoya, who went on to drive Formula One. He's driven champ cars in America, and he's now currently driving NASCAR. So you sort of meet a lot of people along the way that some make it, some don't. Mark Webber, he was racing Formula Ford here a couple of years after we had won it and moved on. So really just need an opportunity to get overseas. You need a good backer.
What about monster trucks? Ever want to do monster trucks? That looks pretty cool.
I've actually driven a monster truck about 3 years ago. It's up awesome. At Queensland at the RNA Showgrounds, and that was a lot of fun. They won't let me back in it anymore.
Why's that?
No.
Well, it's just sort of, I suppose, one of those things with V8 Supercar. You're contracted to not only the race team but to sponsors and everything else, and they sort of can pick and choose what you want to do and what you can do, and had a lot of fun.
Did you crush some stuff?
Yeah, we learned how to drive the truck, and firstly had to start it because it's a supercharged engine, runs on all these funny sort of gases and everything else. But then you actually got told that if you want to go high in the air but straight up, you use second gear. If you want to go distance-wise and jump further, you use third gear. So it was a lot of fun to try and
You didn't stall it, did you? Did you stall the monster truck? That'd be embarrassing, surely.
No, but actually, when you take off, you think you're about 15 stories high, but you're probably only about 4 foot off the ground. But it's because you're sitting so high to start with. It's quite an amazing feeling.
It'd be pretty dangerous as well. I know weatherman and host of numerous TV shows, Grant Denyer, has suffered a very serious injury in the monster truck. Is there special safety measures involved?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you wear the same harnesses and the neck braces. He used to be 6 foot tall, but he had a back problem and he shrunk. So really, they're actually quite safe. They've got the full roll cage. Everything is what we use in a race car. So it's a lot of fun, and then of course kids love it. I love it. I love seeing big trucks demolishing cars.
Who doesn't? On Triple J this morning, chatting to Craig Lowndes. Tom and Alex are with you. We'll chat a bit more. We're going to play a tune. We'll chat a bit more. Now, you've had an incredible career on the track, Craig, but you've also dallied with music as well, and Triple J, we love music, and if you don't mind, we'd like to just dip briefly into the period of your life known as Celebrity Singing Bee. You do touch it in the book. We won't torture you or anything, okay? We'll just chat a bit more about it after this. Here's Boy in a Box. Good morning.
That was Boy in a Box with Moon Comes Up, and you're listening to Tom and Alex.
Brilliant. Craig Lowndes, racing car driver, V8 Cooper Supercar champion. Thank you very much. You are on Triple J. And Craig joins us. He's got a brand new book out called The Inside Line, all about his life.
And Craig, you're currently coming fourth in the Drivers' Championship for the V8 Supercars with one round to go at Homebush in Sydney. Who do you reckon will take it out? James Courtney, Jamie Whincup, Mark Winterbottom are the top contenders.
Yeah, it's come down to the last, I suppose, round. We've got 2 races left at Sydney in a couple of weeks. I think it'll come down to either James Courtney or Jamie Whincup, which is my teammate. But I think James Courtney has got a 50-point lead from what I can gather over my teammate. So I think he will probably walk away with it. And if he does, it'll be his first championship or Australian V8 Supercar Championship. So it'll be great to have a new winner.
Yeah, and it's pretty interesting as well. Paul Dumbrell the other weekend got his first race win after 11 years, sort of toiling away. Are there a lot of supercar drivers? You're one of the more well-known ones. Are there a lot of ones toiling away that people wouldn't know about?
Oh, look, there's Tim Slade. There's some
losers.
Young.
I think that's what I'd call them, but I don't know. That's just me.
Well, I wouldn't say losers, but you've got some guys. Steve Owen, who drove with us in a long-distance race, he's hopefully believe that he's got a full-time driver in our category, not with our team, but for next year. So there's a lot of young budding. When I first started back in '96, the average age of a driver was like 40. Now it's like 25. So the completely demographic of a driver has completely changed.
Can you give us a sense of what it's like in the car, Craig? I mean, that is the thing that really grabs me about racing car drivers. Just the visceral feeling of being in there must be amazing. How fast do you go? What's the fastest you've ever driven? And what's it like being inside that car?
Well, the car itself is built for speed. So when we take passengers for a ride in the race car, they're sort of quite amazed and they adapt really quickly to the speed. It's just the braking, accelerating out of corners. So top speed at Conrod is our fastest here in Australia. We get close to 300 kilometres an hour. It's about 296 kilometres an hour. The temperature inside a V8 supercar is about 25 degrees hotter than ambient. So for a 30-degree day, it's 55 plus inside the car.
And you wear special cooling stuff, cooling suits, is that right?
Well, we covered from head to toe in fire retardant race suits, helmets and everything else. But under that, we wear a vest that you can pump water through, which, we chill the water. And that's the only way we can really keep our bodies cool.
Yeah.
And then basically we've got...
You can also not be in the car. That's another option.
Well, we walk around at home with them.
Well, you do say in the book, The Inside Line, Craig Lowndes, that it just gets a bit boring sometimes because you're used to the speeds that you have to take a look at the crowd to keep you focused.
Well, yeah, I'm sort of a, I suppose, hyperactive person, and I need a lot of stimulation in the sense of I need a lot of information coming my way. So my engineer, who talks to me on the radio as I drive, that's basically gives me every stats of how many laps to go, what the leaders are doing, what lap times, who's behind me, who's in front of me, blah blah blah, all the information that I really need just to process it, just to keep my mind active, because I do wonder, and when I make mistakes, it's generally because I'm bored.
On Triple J this morning, Craig Lowndes joins us in the studio. Okay, let's briefly mention this. With all your fame, you've been offered to do a lot of TV shows. People may have seen you on the Channel 9 show. I saw this episode of Celebrity Singing Bee, where they get a range of people. Who else were you on? It was Frankie J. Holden, I think?
Frankie J. Holden. There was Guyton, that played the underbelly. Yeah,
right. Okay, and what's your memories of the night? What's your reflection on your bout of Celebrity Singing Bee?
Well, I know I was really, really bad at it, and I'm probably a shower singer, but really I had a lot of fun when we finished the episodes and everything else. We actually had a lot of fun. I got stitched up by my manager, who told me all I had to do was sing a paragraph, but then I had to singing the whole song of "Eye of the Tiger." So that was it
was very funny in the book. Craig, you're describing this. I had a good chuckle when I was reading it, and it said your manager stitched you up, and afterwards he confessed that he hadn't even seen the show before.
No idea. All right, this is just a taste of Craig Lowndes. Now, we're not being cruel here, Craig. We're just going to a little bit here. Just give people an idea of what we're talking about here. Okay?
Rising up, back on the street, in my time.
Oh no, they gave me the buzzer.
The way. Now I'm back on my feet. Just a man and his will to survive.
Killed it there, buzzer.
So many times.
What do you think about that, Craig?
That's actually one of the first times I've actually heard myself sing. So I'm really. It a lot of fun. He actually had to fill in the blanks at, and that's the cross. It wasn't Red Simons trying to buzz me out, but it was more the fact that you had to fill in the holes, and there was gaps of words that were missing, and you had to fill them. So if you got them wrong, you got obviously the buzzer. If you got them right, you got the tick. And at the end of it, actually, Guyton and I were equal losers. We were probably the two worst singers out of that whole bunch. So it was a lot of fun, and I don't know if I'd do it again. And really, as I said, the book that my manager stitched me up because he really did a good job.
And it was really funny because Channel 9 sat on the footage of that for about a year, so you had you sweating for a while.
Well, yeah, I actually thought that they might have lost it, and it's gone into one of those archive little area rooms that no one would ever be seen again. But it came up to surface.
Craig, thanks so much for joining us on the show, man. The new book is called The Inside Line. You can get that if you like. Or you can go see Craig race. Next weekend, you're racing in Sydney. The 3rd to the 5th of December, that is, at a supercar event there if you want to see Craig racing around in that super hot car at super high speeds. Thanks a lot, Craig. All the best, man.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
Cheers. You're on Triple J. Still to come on the show. Brand new music, the world premiere of the new single from Cut Copy. Here's Scripture.
I never really responded.